to introduce to you some of this. Some of you already know Patrick. For some that are the first timers on here, I'm going to introduce you not only to my co-host today, but also the founder and the CEO of American Business Systems. He was formerly with Apple Computer, actually when it was here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He is on the editorial board of the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, and he's also the chairman of the Medical Revenue Managers Association of America, and a best-selling author. And I think Patrick's coming on here right already. And you can see here his 3 books, and the latest one to the right is The Thriving New Medical Practice, the one that just got really released just a few days ago. I actually have a copy of it right here. So here's a copy of it right here, and you can actually find that out on Amazon. Patrick, good to have you here this afternoon.
Yes, this is going to be a really pointed webinar today. I mean, we're getting right down to the nitty-gritty here on this one.
There's no doubt that that's what we're going to be doing today. Well, Patrick, I know we want to really kind of jump in here, and we're going to ask this question because we're going to be talking about a few of the following businesses that we're actually going to see here. And the question is, what do all of these businesses have in common? But there's a real reason why we're asking that question, because you just recently read an article, but share that article after we kind of start going through some of these businesses. So, Patrick, I'm going to let you kind of take it from here as I click on this next slide here.
Well, thank you. And Eric, can you actually give me the keyboard and mouse so I can just go through these at my pace?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So, folks, here's what we're doing. We're asking what do all the following businesses have in common? So we'll go through these real quickly. Here's Procter & Gamble. They were started back in 1837 in Cincinnati, Ohio. And there's Procter and Gamble, I guess. But everybody knows about them, right? They have all the soaps and things that you see on your local. Did I get the mouse there? Maybe I didn't click or something.
That's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if I've given that to you or not.
Okay. I'm moving the mouse there, and I don't see that I have it, but oh, maybe so. You've been made the presenter. You don't want to do that. No.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. So just give me just 1 second, Patrick. And I'll hopefully take this thing back and blow this up. I'll just go through them as you talk.
Okay. So let's go to the next one there, which is the lady with the sewing machine, I guess. This is General Electric. Or we could skip that one and go to Ford Motor Company. They were started in 1903. You got IBM that started in 1911. You have looks like Disney started in 1923. Then you've got the my favorite here, Toll House Cookies back in 1933. Then you got Hewlett Packard. Everybody's heard of them, of course, 1935. You got Burger King, started in 1953. And you have Hyatt Hotels in 1957. You got IHOP restaurants in 1958. And then, of course, you got Microsoft in 1975. You know what that picture is right there, Eric? That's Bill Gates.
Bill Gates right there.
In the corner. That was his first group of investors back then. Let's see. There's one more after that. I think FedEx. They started in 1998. Okay, so here's the difference, folks. The common thing about all these businesses is they all started during a recession or a depression. Now, I don't believe we're in a recession or a depression, either one. But a lot of people ask that question to us. Well, I don't know. Is this a good time to start a business or not? Well, you can answer that question by answering, were all those businesses started during recessions and depressions? Yes. And so were they successful? Yes. You can be successful at any time, folks, if you have the right vehicle. It's all about having the right one. So, Eric, having said that, let's jump right into what we would be doing, they would be doing. People who get involved with us is what we call licensees. That is, they've purchased our business opportunity package, our license, and they start doing medical billing. So what do they do? What do they do and not do?
Yeah, we actually, the reason I put this this slide up here is because, Patrick, I bet you it's been probably about 6 weeks now. We actually went through an entire webinar of what a medical billing person actually does, because the question that we were really asking here is what would I be doing as a medical biller? And this particular webinar, folks, if you haven't seen this one, you might want to go out there and find it on our ABS YouTube channel. You'll find that, and because we go through very step by step, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that this afternoon, but hopefully we're going to be able to answer that with it, just with this simple question. I mean, this simple slide right here.
Yeah, so this is a what's called a super bill. You've probably gotten something, look at this carefully here on your screen. You've probably gotten something similar to this when you check out at the doctor's office, right? And it has all kinds of things that could be wrong with you and the things that they did to help you, called procedure codes, diagnostic codes and procedure codes. So this is usually a one-page form that's handed to you as you check out, and the doctor, as you can see, has checked there beside the different things that they found wrong with you and what he or she decided to do to help you. And those are the common things that the doctor uses on a regular basis. So he just checks those off. You take it up to the front desk, and when you check out and they bill your insurance or you pay it or whatever, that's basically the information that you would need as a medical biller. Now, we can get that information to you a lot of different ways, but basically that's being put into our system, which is a cloud-based online billing system, and you do that from your computer, any computer in the world that's hooked up to the internet. And literally, Windows, Mac, it doesn't matter. It could be a laptop, a desktop, as long as you have access to our system, which if you have internet connection, you do. We give you the login credentials, of course, to get in there. You're putting that data into our system, which is referred to as iClaim. Now, iClaim is just our label, our name for our online system. And as you can see, it's a true practice management system. Eric, tell them a little bit about iClaim and why we call it a practice management system.
Yeah, folks, because you can see here, right here at the top, you can see like right here, there's this button that's right there. That actually is the entry for the doctor to get into their what's called their electronic medical records. This next little section that's right here, this is for the front office staff. So you can see here that more people are using this than just the medical billing company than yourself. So you've got the doctor, you've got the front office, and then eventually you do have you who's actually doing the billing, the real-time information, and the reporting of everything that has to go along with medical billing. And even as you can see here on this next screen, once you're in it on your side, whenever it's time for you to fill out and take that super bill, as Patrick was talking to you about, this is where you input that information in there. Once you got through it, you click a button that says Create Claim, and then that's where it gets sent off to the actual payers from here on out.
Yeah, and this is the amazing thing, folks, is this is all done in real time. Now, that just means that when you put that data in and push the button to go to the next screen, it is sending that data live over the internet directly to our servers that are located in different parts of the country. We have multiple backup servers, and that data is stored there safely according to the rules of HIPAA. HIPAA is the rule that the government came up with for the patient data to make sure that it's secure and safe and so forth. And so that's all secured on our servers, which are backed up nightly, by the way, and very protected. Believe me, this is our downtime, Eric, on this is less than 0.5% per year. And we only go down when we tell people we're going to go down for maintenance or something like that.
And folks, before we go any further in the webinar, we do want to remind you that that place where you typed in your city and state and where you put in all that information, that's your question. So feel free to communicate back with Patrick and me. If there's a specific question you'd like for us to ask, there will be some questions we'll maybe wait towards the end, but if it's right on this particular topic of anything, you can feel free to ask us any questions, and we'll certainly start taking some of those questions.
Yeah, we'll both be kind of monitoring those questions as they come in. Here's one, Eric, already from Kadisha. Kadisha, hope I'm saying that right, says, how does the real-time feed account for errors made in completing the claim? Sorry, that's my reminder that the webinar started. In case I'm not on here. So how does the real-time feed account for errors made in completing the claim? I guess she means, do we catch that before we actually send it on to our clearinghouse?
Yeah, Kadisha, how it works is, and if you've got any background in medical billing, you may know this terminology. But it's, when you process a claim in a medical billing platform like iClaim, it gets sent from there directly to a clearinghouse, and then from a clearinghouse then to the payers. The difference here, Kadisha, is that our clearinghouse is actually built inside of iClaim. So when we process a claim in iClaim, it's not going to a separate clearinghouse. It's actually being processed in real time in our clearinghouse in order that we can, from there, send it directly to the payers. There's where our big unique part of the whole billing platform is altogether. Patrick, you've got this. This is one of the magazine that I believe you are on the editorial board on, and
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still looking at the iClaim form.
Okay, here we go. There, how about that?
Yes, that's it. Billing and coding. Well, no, this is a different magazine. Sorry.
Oh, this is a different magazine. Yeah, this is HBMA.
Yeah, this is from the HBMA, Healthcare Billing and Management Association, but it's a great chart here showing healthcare as a business that's out there and the opportunity. Look, in that left-hand circle there, you have the broad revenue cycle management and technology opportunity. Everything that has to do with the doctor's revenue cycle, including selling them computers and software and all kinds of stuff. The physician medical billing is only a small slice of that. It's only $9 billion industry. And then so we pull that out on the right there, and you see that it's divided into two different sections, the hospital-based physician medical billing and the office-based physician medical billing. But in total, you've got a $9 billion industry that's out there. You guys are going to be focused, of course, mainly on the office-based physician medical billing. That's at $4.5 billion, but it's, believe me, there's lots of doctors out there that need help and lots of doctors that are not involved in the hospitals or medical billing groups. They're individual private practice doctors. That's most of who we see our licensees signing up into there.
Yeah, and I think this next one that kind of pulls it out there. And out of that $4.5 billion spent processing over 5 billion insurance claims for doctors. Patrick, that really is a lot of money.
Yeah, and so what I tell people is, look, you don't need a big piece of that pie. You just need a little bitty tiny slice of that pie, and believe me, that would be more than $100,000 a year income. So when we start talking about revenue and income and profits and all that, folks, we'll tell you that this is a webinar that's based on the numbers that we see from our licensees, and we're not making these numbers up or anything. And this is a great one here. Look at the healthcare spending as a percentage of our gross domestic product in the United States. From 1965, it was only about, what, 3%? No, it's 6%. I'm looking at the blue line. You drew that red line, didn't you?
Right.
And it goes up from there. The latest numbers we had was through 2009, but as you can see, it went way up there to almost 18%. Now I think it's over 26%. So it's a huge part of our economy.
Yeah, just huge part, and
it's so the reason if you're in the business, folks, you want a line that goes up like that, not down.
Right.
And this illustrates, of course, folks, that because of the Affordable Care Act, you have a lot of people that are in the system now that weren't. That means the doctors have even that much more pressure to see that many more patients, and so they don't have time to focus on doing the billing accurately with their own staff. That's why a lot of doctors have decided, hey, I'm just getting this out of the office. I'm turning it over to somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody that's been trained to do this, and that handles the billing not just for me, but for several doctors. And then there's these old folks here talking about me at this point. See, my hair matches all their hair. It's called the baby boomers. And folks, the baby boomer is the generation that's moving into the healthcare system, because there are 10,000 of these folks retiring every single day in the United States. 10,000. That means there's lots of people entering into the medical system that weren't in before, because they have more time, they have more things going wrong, that they have to go see the doctor more often. So this is growing. This is a growth industry, is what we're trying to illustrate here.
Exactly. And which leads us to the question, Patrick. I think this question right here, and why would a doctor outsource their billing? I think that's probably the big question for everybody. Why would a doctor not want to keep that billing in-house?
Yeah, let's address that. That's the elephant in the room, I guess, at this point. That doctors could do this themselves, right? That they have their own computers, they have staff, they could buy software. Somebody even asked one of the questions. Let me go back there and I'll address that. Let's see. I think it's HEMA says, is this software available to doctors? Well, it is. I claim it's available to doctors, but only through you, one of our licensees, ABS licensees. They can't go directly to us. We don't do medical billing ourselves as a company. And so the only way they can use the software is in conjunction with you handling their billing. And so that's important for you to know, folks, that there is software out there that doctors could be using. But they decided not to because, as you can see from this quote here from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is a government agency, that the billing industry, especially in healthcare, is growing. But the actual on-site jobs, that is, people doing the billing inside the doctor's office, will be reduced because the billing will be outsourced. So, folks, you are the outsourced solution that doctors are looking for.
All right, well, so let's take this chart here, Patrick, this next chart here, and why don't you kind of just step through this real quickly, because I don't think people grasp that if they've got, the doctors may have someone in their office and just the costs that go behind having an in-house biller.
Yeah, I mean, what we've done is compared here in those two columns cost. And as you can see, there's a huge difference. Look at the bottom line down there. Just jump down there and you'll see that it costs a doctor up to $65,000 with all the hidden costs that are involved in having his staff do the billing. When they outsource it to you, they're going to pay as little as $28,800 in this example that we're using here. And folks, this is being recorded, so you can go back and look at all these figures in detail. We won't take time to go into detail, but the point is, this is a typical average practice, general practice that's seeing just 100 patients a week, 20 patients a day. And yet they're only paying $28,000 to have you do the billing for them. There's so many advantages to a doctor, but this alone, Eric, if I were a doctor, I'd look at this and go, maybe I should consider outsourcing. I can save a lot of money, looks like.
Well, this reminds me of this picture of one of the things that we do here at American Business Systems is that we will do a demonstration of the iClaim software for your doctor. And Patrick, I know I told you about this, but the other day that I did a demo for a doctor that his rejection rate was 57%. Now, I don't know if people can grasp what that means, but let's just say this. Out of every 100 claims that were going out, 57 of those claims were being rejected because someone in their office did not do the billing correctly.
And Eric, that's why this doctor here looks like she's in a panic, because those rejected claims get set aside. They intend to get back to them and figure out what's wrong and resubmit them, but that probably never happens in most doctors' offices. So it's lost revenue. Now, true, they can write some of that off on their income taxes at the end of the year and so forth, but believe me, most doctors would rather have that money in their pocket. It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars that doctors are losing that you can go back and talk about a rejection rate. The average nationwide is about 35%. You can take that down, folks, with our system and with our training to less than 2%.
Matter of fact,
it is right there.
Yeah, there's that quote there where it says, this is from the American Academy of Professional Coders. And matter of fact, this was an older quote. We just got word that this number actually has gone up even higher, and that's because of some of the new things that are actually happening with the medical codes that the doctors aren't ready for, but we can because it's already built into iClaim. But it says here the industry experts have found that the average number of rejected claims for a medical practice averages around 34%. Now, Patrick, let's talk about that in numbers so that we really get what we're talking about. So, again, out of every 100 claims that get sent out, 34 of those claims will never get paid.
Or you can look at it this way, Eric, using percentages. For every $100,000 that the doctor should be collecting, which could be on a monthly basis for some practices. We've had practices that are bringing in $100,000 a month. That's $34,000 right there that they're losing from those.
If those claims are rejected, there's only a small percentage of those that ever get what you would think resubmitted for payment. So the doctor could just be losing thousands of doctors, and it just truly is an amazing issue that doctors are faced with. So again, you're asking the question, everybody that's on the call right now, have at some time or not, if you haven't done it yet, you will ask, why would a doctor want to use me? Well, it's because of what we're talking about right here. We do have the solution. We're going to go ahead and keep showing you the solution. But Patrick, even as we get into this quote from the New England Journal of Medicine, I mean, they're saying the same thing.
Now, we haven't got into the details of this, of course, in this webinar, but we have in past webinars that we have out there on our website blog. But as you can see, it could cost doctors up to 24 cents out of every dollar just to do the administrative stuff in their office. Now, that includes the billing, of course. And we can show you how that you can charge a doctor as little as 5 to 8% for the money that's collected that they would pay you. So compare the 5 to 8% to the 24% here that they're paying now for these types of services within their own office. So again, yes, there's big reasons why doctors would want to outsource. It comes down to the bottom line. More money for them to keep for them and their practice, to grow their practice, to hire new people, to buy new equipment, to invest in their practice, rather than just letting it go by the wayside and writing it off at the end of the year.
Patrick, can you say this doctor's name here?
Yeah, you can pronounce the last name. I'll pronounce the first name, Eric. Dr. Verne. We'll call him Dr. Verne. He was actually quoted in U.S. News and World Report. And he says to get paid by the insurance company, I have to pay about $20 in administrative fees. That means to his own staff in order to collect it. That includes the person that bills it, the computer system, the ongoing support, blah, 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 upgrades to the software, new codes, et cetera, et cetera. $20 a claim, Eric. And we can do that for 5 to 8%. So for a $100 claim, that's only $5 to $8 that you would be charging. But Eric, for that $5 to $8, how long would it take them to actually do one claim?
You know, the great thing about it is for someone to actually process that claim, to do those claims, doesn't take very long. We're actually going to kind of go through some of the numbers here, but if a doctor is seeing 20 to 25 patients a day, on average, it's going to take you just over a minute per claim to actually process. So what I kind of like to do is take a doctor. It's going to take you about 90 minutes per doctor a day, because there's some other administrative things like posting the payments that you have to do on the back end once you've submitted these claims. So there's just a little bit of work, but you're going to figure out about 90 minutes per doctor per day is what you're going to be looking at there.
Yeah, depending on the doctor, the number of claims, and so forth. We're just kind of using round numbers here, averages. Hey, let me get to a couple of questions, Eric. Adriana says, is the form user-friendly? I think when we had the screenshot up there, Eric, I don't think there's another system out there anywhere that's more user-friendly than ours. In fact, folks, when we bring you down here to Dallas for our week-long training, we set you in front of a laptop the very first day. And Eric, they're doing medical billing by the end of the first day, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. So the screen that you're looking at right there, Adriana, this is what you're going to be going through. Plugging in the numbers there, we want you to see really how easy and really how user-friendly it really is.
Let's see. Ivan says, what documentation is available to support HIPAA compliancy of all the stored information? Ivan, if you ask your ABS coach, the person who sent you the email about this webinar, they can send you some documentation on HIPAA compliancy. Believe me, ours is very solidly HIPAA compliant. It has to be, or it couldn't be certified as HIPAA has for use over the internet, because it has to be very secure to be able to do that. So believe me, we have not had any breaches in the 20 years or so that this system's been available of the HIPAA stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Hema says, is iClaim owned by ABS? Yes, we own the iClaim branded system that we're showing you folks today. Now, when I say owned, folks, in today's world, you don't ever own anything. For example, I don't own the building that I office in. I don't even own some of the furniture and the computers. We lease some of those. Nowadays, software can be written for you by programmers, and you own what they've come up with or what they've branded or labeled for you. So, yes, ABS is only used by ABS licensees. No one else can market that software that's out there. Let's see. What else, Eric? Boy, there's a bunch of questions coming in here today.
And we're already at the bottom of the hour. I know we got a lot of slides to get through, and we maybe have to save some of these questions to get towards the end. But we really want to start talking about the billing program itself and the EMRX program, how it all works together, because we really do want to talk with you about how you can make the kind of income that we're talking about here. So as you can see here, we're looking at both the iClaim and the EMRX. Now, these are your marketing pieces that you will get as an ABS licensee. You can see right down here in both of these areas, I think I can draw right here. Right here, there's enough room for you to put your name, your logo, your contact information. Same thing as right here. You'll get that professionally imprinted on your customized marketing material right here as you're going to go, as you'll see as we kind of go through it here. So now let's talk about, we've been kind of talking about this whole thing here, Patrick, the whole cloud-based system, what it all consists of, and then back to, I believe, I can't remember whose question it was, maybe Kadisha, you were asking about how do we do this in real time. Well, you can see that everything's in the cloud. You've got the practice management system, you've got the electronic medical records, you have the patient medical records, and then you have the clearinghouse. That's all working together to allow us to do everything we need to do for the doctors in real time.
Yeah, and when we say it's all in one system, folks, it means that we don't have plug-ins. We're not trying to integrate this with other software. This is all our system that has all that you see here on the screen, including a very robust patient portal for the patients to log in and see their information about them in the system. Here's some more screenshots showing on not only computer systems, but you've got an iPad there and an iPhone. So anything that's connected to the internet, yes, these can be Android phones as well, Windows-based phones, it doesn't matter. We're just illustrating them here with some of the Apple products that you see here, because that's all we have in our office is Apple stuff.
Okay,
yes,
so
we're Apple's moms here.
Yeah. All right, so now the big question is, can you earn $100,000 from working home in the healthcare industry? So let's kind of take a look at this. And Patrick, I'm going to kind of slip through these slides here if you want to go ahead and talk about what we're looking at here, and then I'll kind of pick it up where we kind of talk about how we arrive at those numbers.
Yeah, so this is our website, absystems.com. And most of you probably found us going to our website, but if you go to the Income Potential tab at the top, you'll see there is a medical billing income calculator, which we're going to look at here. And you can use this to put in the numbers that we're about to put in yourself, for your own numbers. But I think, Eric, we start here with just one doctor, don't we? Just putting in one doctor that sees 20 patients a day, 5 days a week. And we're assuming that you're charging that doctor only 6%, remember it could be up to 8%, of an average claim amount of $100. So with those numbers in mind, and we push the submit button, you'll see that that will calculate for us how much money you can earn. Now remember, this is a gross number, meaning you're going to have some expenses, of course, running your business out of your home. But as you can see, with one doctor, you're going to make $31,200 each year servicing one medical office. That's $2,600 monthly income.
Yep. So you times that out, that's going to be, you know, $31,200 a year. So for those that are folks that want to say, well, how in the world did you get to that number? This is where we want to kind of take it for you. So here's where you're going to want to pay a little bit of attention. And Patrick, why do that? If you want to start keying up, getting ready to share some of the testimonials that we've received from our licensees. I know you want to show it there on your video screen there, but I'm going to kind of run through this. So if you want to get prepared for those, I'm going to kind of go through this pretty quickly.
Okay.
So
I didn't mean to start that. Sorry, that was a mistake.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So what we're going to do, folks, we're going to just take one doctor here, and remember the number that we said. They're going to see 20 patients a day. For the doctor, each one of those is valued at $100 per patient. So that's going to equal out to be about $2,000 a day for that doctor. So again, it's pretty easy. You got one doctor. They're seeing about 20 patients a day. Now, folks, this is a very light day for a doctor. Very, very light day. It's not an incredibly busy day, but it's a very light day for a doctor. And again, valued right about 100, because it could be 150, it could be a little bit less, but I don't know a doctor that charges less than $100 to go see a doctor anyway. So now let's take a look at what it's going to imply and how it's going to impact you on your money and what it's going to look like here. So you take that $2,000 per day and then times that times 6%. Remember, from our little calculator that we had there, that's what we're looking at. $2,000 a day times 6%. Your average earnings is going to be about $120 a day. Well, that's not too bad, Patrick, for working about 90 minutes a day, an hour and a half a day, $120 a day. A lot of people are making $120 or less on an 8-hour-a-day job. So $120 for 90 days is not too terribly bad. Now, let's keep calculating this out for you. So you can see there, that's for about less than 90 minutes of your time per day. All right, so now let's take a look at this. Now your average earnings, $120 per day times 5 days a week is $600 per week. You times that out times 52 weeks, there's where you're getting your $31,200 per year per doctor. It's pretty easy. You can't smoke and mirror these numbers here. It's just straightforward. A doctor sees 20 patients. They're valued about $100 a piece. $2,000 a day. You're getting 6% of that. That's $120 a day. $600 a week. $31,200 per year. All right. So the whole thing was, how do I get to $100,000? Well, if we are looking at this and we times this by 3 doctors, and Patrick, we know that on average, that's pretty typical, and that's actually kind of low for some of our licensees here as well. Now, you just change that number from 1 to 3. Same set of numbers. The only thing that changed was the amount of doctors that you have that you'd be seeing.
And Eric, that could be 3 doctors or providers in one medical office.
One medical office. And folks, remember, they're only seeing 20 patients a day. I mean, we could have kicked it up to 25 patients a day. It'd have been well over $100,000. But again, we're really trying to drive it down. We don't know many doctors that are not seeing any more than 20 patients a day. But here's where you get $93,600 a year that you're making. Again, I'll go back one screen here. That's $7,800 a month, Patrick. $7,800 a month is what somebody could be making servicing 3 doctors' offices.
Yeah, so Eric, let me show a typical, here's an email from one of our licensees that we just got recently. I think I can drop that in here and everybody will be able to see this. Let me see if I can do this correctly now. Okay, here it comes. Eric, is that readable?
It is readable. I can see it there. And
okay. We blanked out some of her contact information, her email address, her last name, and so forth. But folks, as you can see, this was just sent July the 1st, 20 days ago, and she's just writing to us saying, hey, as I sit here reflecting and sending out invoices to my clients for the month of June, I wanted to send you a quick note to say to all of the ABS family, thank you. One of my clients, now Eric, this is one of her clients, is receiving an invoice for $25,663.93 for our billing services. This is for 1 month, folks. We, Steve and I, are so very thankful for the decision we made to join the ABS family. Have a wonderful 4th. Now, I'm showing you this, folks, because this is not typical. Here's the disclaimer. Here's the small print. This is not typical. We do have licensees who are billing probably more than this. And, of course, a whole lot that are billing less than this. But I just wanted to show you that when people ask us about our investment of $25,000 for our licensing fee, here's them billing one practice that much money for 1 month's billing services. So, Eric, I would say there is no ceiling on this. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, that is correct. Now, did you want to show that one other little video before I pop my video back up on there?
I will do that right now. Let me get this back up here, and I'll show you just a little clip of that. I wanted to show you some folks up in the northeast area here. We'll start talking here in just a second. this is their offices. I went and visited them in person and filmed this.
When I got into the business of medical billing, I had no idea of what medical billing is about. I had no idea about healthcare industry. Never came across before, and no medical professionals ever been part of my life, so that was a totally new area for me. As I said, the first month after the training, when we came back to New York, we were so enthusiastic, we were so fired up with all the energy, with all the tools, with all the, so it all created one huge ambition to succeed. And I think that what dragged us through that whole month of December. There were moments, my partner has 4 kids, and I have 2 kids, and my wife is pregnant, and then at that point, when we were sitting here and spending 24 hours a day brainstorming how to succeed, how to attract the first doctor, and how, at some point we were ready to give up. We were ready to give up because that was, to us, it seemed it's all a dream, and that dream will never come true. And all of a sudden, we get a call from a doctor. That crucial moment, at that very moment, when we were ready to break, we get a call from a doctor who was asking, I want to know more. But he called in response to one of the pamphlets that were dropped by his office. He called to find out more about our services. Now, we actually met with him, we gave him a presentation, he liked it. And he said, if I had another office, I would definitely retain your services. At this point, I'm so small, I can do it myself. And this doctor maybe had 20 or 30 patients a month. So that's nothing. But these little words of his saying that if I had a second office, and then Ari, my partner, right away, are you planning to have a second office? He says yes. And that was enough. A glimpse of hope. So we decided, no matter what it takes, we're going to sit and wait until he gets a second office. And then, surely, we will get his business. Now, 3-4 months after, he actually calls us and says, guys, I just opened a second office. I want to be my billers.
Okay, Eric, I'm going to stop it right there because I know we're pressed for time here. But as you can see, folks, we have those kinds of testimonials. We have dozens of those recorded. And that's just a small clip out of probably an hour-long interview that I did with Benjamin. And to make the long story short, he has 3 offices now up in the New York area. They have like 40 employees. They're probably doing billing for over 300 doctors.
So, folks, you don't have to have 300 doctors to make $100,000. If you want to run this from your home, keep it small, you can see that pretty typically you're going to find out that you'll be over 6 figures with just 3 doctors. And again, we've kept these numbers low. I mean, you could go in there and put in 25 patients a day. You could see really typically what you could actually make there for those, servicing 3 doctors. And it's all because, again, you're taking over the doctor's entire revenue cycle management. You're freeing that doctor up to actually see more patients. So there's a greater impact to that doctor than you just doing their billing.
Yeah, now, Eric, that number that you had up there was only $93,600. That's not $100,000.
Right. I
want to know where you came up with the other $6,400 there. How could they make that in addition to the $93,600?
Well, one way is the doctors are going to see more than 20 patients a day. That's for sure. But there are other services here that I know that, Patrick, you and I kind of want to zip through here. We only have about 15 more minutes here. So we want to talk about some of the most important ones here that we've got to already have up here on the screen here. I know that the choice pay and the quick collect are kind of run together because it all has to do with trying to get money from that front office. And you want to kind of talk about this because this was a quote that we've been working with for quite some time here.
Yeah, folks, people find this hard to believe, but out of the money that is billed to patients, now this is the patient portion. In other words, what the insurance doesn't cover, or for the self-pay patients, doctors only collect 50% of all that money that's billed. 50%, that's it. Nationwide, that's the number. Now imagine that being taken from 50% up to 98%. Well, one of the services that we have can allow you to help the doctor get to that 98% number, which would mean thousands of more dollars per year that the doctor is putting into their pocket and into their bank account. Quick Collect is the name of one of the services, and we have many others that are out there as well, 6 or 7 other services that, folks, you don't have to offer any of them if you don't want to, but we've added those to our package so that you have other multiple streams of revenue for you as a company, and that's how you're going to get to the 100,000 figure.
Yeah, because we're showing you just a quick display of Quick Collect right here, kind of showing you how things are, where the status is, that it's been paid in full, how things are done. It's actually done by not, I think, Patrick, one of the things that people are kind of a little bit afraid of, am I going to have to get into collections? There is no collections. We're not sending, some guy out there breaking people's legs or doing anything else like that, or threatening them over the phone.
Yeah, you're not calling up little old ladies and asking for money on the phone, folks. This is all an automated system done with letters, as you see illustrated here, and an online system that allows you to administer this. So you're not doing anything personally, but the system itself does the collection. And Eric, this thing can collect way more than a collection agency even. And so it's a fantastic system. And this is just one of the services that we're talking about here, folks. Again, we have several others that we probably should zip through these really fast, Eric.
Sure.
Yeah, this is a way for you to market your services to the doctors automatically. It automatically follows up to the doctor each month with a card in the mail. You can also use it to help build the doctor's practice and grow the practice and add more patients.
Yeah, because the doctor, listen, if a doctor is seeing 20 patients a day, that doctor needs to see more than 20 patients a day. It ought to be averaging about 27 to 30, maybe even 35 patients a day. So imagine those numbers if we stuck those numbers in that calculation back earlier is one of them. Again, we're going to look at this one right here. I know, Patrick, this is huge right now. I mean, iDocs Now, this actually can be used more than just than doctors, because anybody that's actually needing space to put and file things away, I know that iDocs Now can actually take care of that.
Yeah, this is an online, web-based document management system, folks, that takes all the documents that are typically in a doctor's office already that he's, in the past. We take those and show you how to scan those into the cloud so the doctor can access those patient records from anywhere in the world. Yes, it's HIPAA compliant, and so it's very protected. Since it's in the cloud, there's no way for somebody to steal somebody's laptop or something, but the doctor can access those documents 24/7 from any device that has a connection to the internet, including his iPhone or Android phone. Eric, it's just an amazing system, and again, we're moving through these pretty quickly, but folks, ask your ABS coach, the person who sent you the email about this webinar, to give you some more details. There's a picture of a document that's actually scanned into the system there. Then there's Audit Guard. Audit Guard helps you to help the doctor to guard against the Medicare reviews that can be done by Medicare, which means the doctor, if he's used the wrong codes, he could be fined thousands of dollars. Audit Guard solves that. We can provide the doctor with printed reports. The reports show him in detail what he needs to do to get compliant and make sure that he doesn't get in danger.
All right, so yeah, here's some reports that Patrick was talking about here. So these reports are done by certified coders. They are certified. What folks need to know about the latest update on the codes. So we're talking about the latest indications for the codes as we're obviously looking at those. And then the last one there is CodeWrite. CodeWrite, again, I'm going to circle that one more time because these are what's called ICD-10 certified coders right there. So people are asking, do I need, if I'm going to get in this business, do I need to be a coder? We want to answer that question for you right now. No, you do not need to be a coder. You do not need to go to school to become a coder. You, as a medical billing company with American Business Systems, you're going to already have coders for you, working for you already.
That's right. Let's see, Eric. What's next here? This is basically a quote from Physician Practice Options that says that basically 80% of all the doctors with whom this company works undercode. About 15% of them overcode, and only about 5% code accurately. Now think about that, Doctor Eric, for a second. 5 doctors out of 100 are coding accurately and correctly. We can help them with that, with CodeWright.
That is correct, and this is how it's going to come back for you properly. It's going to make sure that the doctor has certain reports to make sure that they are coding again properly. So all these charts, everything that you're seeing here, are done by our coders for you on your behalf, and so absolutely we'll be able to help you take care of that. Patrick, I think we're okay on time. We've got about 10 minutes here, and we only have just a couple more slides that we may want to go through. But I think what we're going to do is take the rest of the time right now, and let's go through some of these questions, because as we go through some of these questions, I can always go back to a particular slide maybe to help answer that. So, Patrick, you know where we left off here on questions?
Yes, but let me first show this, Eric. I just got this, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but look at this. Is that coming up there? Yeah. Look at this, Eric. This is a little note that we got from a licensee just today. Hannah got it actually and forwarded it to me. She says, Patrick, I received a call today from licensee Safner, and then his last name there. He was gushing about how wonderful ABS is and wanted to speak to you personally to thank you and to tell you what a great job you're doing and how much he appreciates ABS. He became a licensee back in 2010, Eric, 6 years ago. And
Right.
He didn't do anything with the business for quite a while. You know, sometimes things just come up in people's lives, you know, and they get sidetracked. But he says he's not sure what was holding him back then, but now he has seen great success, has 7 clients, and is speaking with more potential clients. He said, please don't hesitate to use him for a reference, especially for people like him who weren't confident in the beginning. Hey, by the way, Eric, that brings up a good point. Anybody on the call today that wants to talk to some of our licensees are welcome to do that. Just get back with your ABS coach, tell them you'd like some names of references, and they'll let you talk to people who are not working for us. They have their own business out there, but they're willing to take phone calls and share their success stories with you and answer your questions.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to start taking some of your questions here, and then we're going to finish up with just a couple more slides here towards the end. But let's say, I think I see here, let's see, let me see if I can go back. I think you answered that one from Hema. So, Hussam, you asked, can I control the doctor's access to the billing section of the system? He may edit the schedule in the front office section, but not the billing. Correct? That is 100% correct.
Yes.
Let me go to that slide there so you can see what he is talking about. So let me go back to that. I think it's way back up over here. So yeah, there we go. Yes. So I think it's actually this one right up here that we need to get to. Let me go back one slide there. Right there. Yes. So yes, you can give certain access to the EHR, to the patient and the schedules, but this section right over here in this area, that can be secured for you. You'll have full access. You'll set all your security parameters as you need to.
Okay, Adriana says, how does the doctors get paid quicker than other companies? Well, one thing is because of our built-in clearinghouse, Adriana. In other words, we're not having to send this to a third party who then has to clear it and send it back to us. We are doing that ourselves, and so we've gotten doctors paid in as little as, well, a week, Eric. We mean, literally, they've been sent in Monday, and the doctor has the money in the bank account on Friday. Now, that's not typical. Usually it's around an average of 7 to 14 days. But that's a lot quicker than they are getting it now because, folks, they just don't have the latest technology like we have to be able to get paid that fast. Eric, what do you think the average is out there? 45, 60 days maybe for doctors to get paid?
It could average anywhere, I'd like to say 30 up to as high as 60 days because it just depends. Because once a claim leaves a billing system, it's hard to know how long it's going to stay in that third-party clearinghouse. It can get juggled around there a little bit, sent back over, then sent back to the clearinghouse. So it doesn't. We don't know. We know because it's internal and it's happening in real time. That's why we really do say, Patrick, 7 to 10 days. Pretty. We can say that confidently.
Yeah, Eric, do you mind putting I know you had the guarantee slide. Let's go ahead and put that up. We people can be reading that. Folks, we want you to know, I know some of you have to leave here right on the hour. We got 5 minutes, but we do have a money back guarantee. For people who are still wondering whether this is for real, here's the best way to know it's real. Commit to coming to our training. Now, that does mean that you have to fund your license fee and do the paperwork with us. But when you get here, if you sit through our training at the end of the week, I mean, you've watched everything, you know everything, all of our proprietary information, and for some reason you just think this is not the right business for you, simply tell any staff member and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund. Now, Eric, I don't know of any other company that does that. People think I'm crazy for actually offering this, but we've only had a handful of times that's been taken advantage of. And folks, the point is that we know what we have, and we know that you're going to love what you see. The best way to do it is just to come on down to the training, commit to that week of sitting through it. And, you know, if nothing else, you've spent a long week in Texas in the middle of the summer.
Well, hopefully that's maybe one of the reasons why we're skipping August. We're going to hit July. Folks that are coming next week, it's going to be a little warm down here in Texas. I think it's warm really all over the country. So.
Oh, who cares? It's cold in the room. Yeah. Hey, put up the last slide, Eric. Just again, for people who have to leave, we're going to go ahead and put the slide up, folks, that shows you the dates. I think we've filled up this class next week, but if you're trying to get in it, just finalize whatever you need to get in it. The next one, Eric, is coming up in September, as you mentioned. Sometime.
I got it written down here. It's September the 12th through the 16th. For those that are looking, I know that at least one person that's on the webinar today was asking me, are we secured on that date? And we are secured for the September week of training. So we are on for September 12th through the 16th. So.